Hey, good morning, everyone. I decided to make this video. I'm usually very discreet and very private with certain matters when it comes to things that I'm going through, trials and tribulations. One of the reasons is, I guess I have insecurities. One of them is I never want to make it look like I don't have faith. And I'm basically going on this journey right now with therapy, with a Christian therapist, helping me to not feel like I'm letting God down, and not even sometimes all of that. Feel like I'm letting myself down with letting God down in a way, like basically saying, "Hey, Shakayla, you can't even believe God enough to walk through this plan with Him. You keep making moves out of fear." But my Christian therapist was able to tell me sometimes walking by faith takes action, and just waiting for God to close certain doors that you're trying to walk through is Him telling you yes or no about it. So I broke down crying because obviously you don't you don't want to feel like you're letting God down, and you know, like He's so good. God has been so good throughout this whole journey, and I'm still trying to put my hands in a pot and control something. But I decided, you know, with this video that I was going to be transparent as much as I can, allow pride to get out of the way, allow fear, like any insecurities that's stopping me from getting to my destiny. I'm desperate now, finally, to just throw in the towel and allow God to work. And He works with a humble heart. He works with people that have a humble heart. So this is leading up to the story and, well, the revealing of my current state. So currently I am homeless. I tried to tell myself in my mind it's by choice, because I do get military assistance, at least 80%. But I have a child, and I am supporting my mother because she supported me. I went through postpartum depression, and that was hard. So she was there. Sorry, let me pause it. Okay, I'm not gonna pause it. So I went there. I went through that early on. I was breastfeeding, so you can imagine postpartum, like me not eating. I think people started to see how much weight I was losing when it came to breastfeeding, and when it came to just um, being there for my son. At one point, I really thought I was coming to an end. And my one of my other therapists, she was like, "That's like indirect suicide that you were doing when you weren't eating as much, and you got all the way down to, I think I was like 110, 114. I think at one point I just stopped touching the scale. I just stopped weighing myself because I was like, I don't want to know that I went down like further." So I was like, because I was telling God, if I go down to this limit, then I feel like you're just telling me that I should give up, even though that was the enemy. And one thing I learned about depression is I will never question what it looks like, what it feels like, what people do when they're in that dark place. Because I was so much in a dark place, I didn't even know I had resources. I didn't even know I could call on somebody. It's like it was so dark, it almost made me forget I had a brain to think. I felt like depression was telling me when to eat, when to sleep, when to be there for my son, and it was like overwhelming. It was like one after the other, just hard. And I was like, it was just getting to a point where I was just, you know, but I only have 5 more minutes, so let me speed this up. So, my mom was there, so I told her, she was at work. I told her I didn't feel like I was capable enough with having co by myself. So I told her if she quit her job, that my income from the military was going to be able to help with the rent. And it did, but I didn't realize I didn't take into account the other expenses, but she was still worried about me. So I tried to take up like a job where I can kind of control my own schedule, but I wasn't able to help her pay for her finances, so she had to start working like door dashing. So, um, you know, our lease ended like a month ago, and I just I knew I couldn't afford to pay for another lease because our apartment complex was just so horrible with everything. They made us pay half the rent. They told us we couldn't leave the month that we pay, like the end of the month that we pay for. They said that the original date is going to be the 15th of the next month, and we was gonna have to still pay for that month. So keep in mind that first month I only get paid once a month. That first month I already paid. Second month, if I wanted to move, I was only gonna have 800 to work with, or not 800, probably the other half to work with, and I had to pay. I have a lot of loans, a lot of things that I'm paying off, um, and I was already in the negative, so they were going to take out a good chunk of that. So I like to think it was by choice, and I did use my military resource. But right now, like they're good at supporting. I won't knock the military, but they reached their max recently, so I basically had to like I told them I was like I'm homeless with a child. And it's like, well, the waiting list is like a year or two out, but they still put me on the list. And I was trying to go to school, but I'm of course gonna need money to have someone keep COA, getting my child. I'm sorry, and it was just so much. Like I can honestly say, God is shutting every door. Like for me trying to be as discreet and as private about my situation, I can't be because I do need help. And I am exhausting all of my resources. I am calling around. I could go to a shelter, and it hurts to think about it because throughout my life, I was in and out of a shelter. My mom did the best she could. I don't fault her at all. It taught me a lot, but it seemed like, I guess I didn't learn enough because, some people would say, oh, why would you have a child if you didn't have stable income, or, that's not the case. I feel like I made bad choices throughout my life, and I'm learning. That's why I'm like, I don't fault anybody for it. You know, I can put the blame on myself. I know what I've done. I'm sorry. I have tissue, but um, so I'm just telling the story for a reason. So let me get to the point. So so I ended up. I'm sorry. I wish I could cut this part out because it's probably gonna take up most of the video. I only have 2 minutes left. But like this is basically just saying right now. I'm explaining my case, but I'm basically going to this part in my life where, I'm willing to like stand on the side of the street and just tell people, hey, I'm homeless right now, but I have a plan. And my plan is to eventually start my own business, is to get up off the floor. I know I have to pay my debt. And right now, car camping is the best plan for me. And I'm not stressing about it, but I'm realizing that I am in a corner and I want to get out. But it's got to take me humbling myself and asking for help. And that's hard because I know so many people can say anything, especially the military. My military friends, like everyone on my page, can say something. Like even family, they'll probably try to say, "Oh, you could ask us. You could ask us." How many times have we exhausted those helping hands? And I know that I could ask family, but they're struggling too. And the ones that aren't struggling, we've already asked so many times, and I know they're getting tired. They can't tell me they're not. but I won't put their name out there